Have you ever felt like you were behind in life? Your classmates have the next 10 years mapped out, but you're still trying to pick your major. Your colleagues getting promoted up the career ladder, but you're still in that entry-level job. Your friends are getting married and having babies, and you're still trying to find a match. See, there's this tendency to view life as a path, and there are certain milestones you have to meet along the way. Finish your childhood, graduate from high school, go straight to college, finish in 4 years, get a good job, and get your own place. By the way, make sure you meet the love of your life in between. Get engaged, get promoted, get married, buy a house, have a baby, have another baby, get promoted again, take your family to Disney World, get your forever home, keep promoting up the career ladder, retire comfortably, have some grandkids, and ease gracefully into old age with the love of your life by your side. And if you don't hit these milestones in the right order at the right times, you'll feel like you're behind. You failed. You're just doing it all wrong. Can you relate? I used to feel this way too. And in recent years, I've started to look at life a little differently, which is why I want to introduce you to the ampersand. This one's a decoration from my home. I have a few in my office that were gifts from students over the years. I have an ampersand coffee mug. I even have an ampersand tattooed on my arm. So it's a punctuation mark with a cool aesthetic. The ampersand goes far back in linguistic history as shorthand for the word and. Grammatically speaking, and is a coordinating conjunction. That's a simple word that is used to connect other words, phrases, or ideas. For me, it also has a deeper meaning. Today, I want to share with you how I embrace and as a philosophy for life. Other commonly used coordinating conjunctions, but, or. These are tiny words, but they make a big difference in the meaning of a statement, and they can even shift our whole perspective. When you're faced with a major decision, you probably feel like you can choose one path or the other. You could go to grad school, or you can get married and start a family. You can take that corporate job, or you can pursue your love of art. Right? You could take that fun summer job at the beach, or maybe you should find an internship to put you on the right career path. That little or makes us feel like there's a right way, and we could possibly make the wrong choice. But watch what happens when we change or to and. You can go to grad school and start a family. It's challenging, but people make it work all the time. Right? You can have that corporate job and on the weekends enjoy your art as a way to connect with your creative side. You can take the fun summer job at the beach this year and do the internship next year. Other commonly used coordinating conjunctions, we often hear metaphors of life being a book. You're the author of your own story. You can always turn to a blank page. Every year is a new chapter. The thing about books, though, they usually have a plot. There's a clear beginning and middle and end. There's a rising action, a climax, some sort of tidy resolution to bring it all together. And there's a consistent set of characters through the whole story. And there's usually some sort of moral or lesson. Life doesn't work like that. There's no plot. There's no consistent set of characters. They come and go. We can't predict the beginning and the end, so how could we possibly know where the middle is? And I don't know if there's a moral to the story. Right? And we don't tell our stories chronologically. When I meet someone, I don't say, "Hi, I'm Jess. I was born early on a March morning in 1982 in Denver, Colorado." Can you imagine the looks I would get all the time? We jump around. We share highlights, snapshots. We tell random little snippets of our lives when we hear related ideas and we want to connect with other people. Oh, I love that starfish necklace. That reminds me of when I got to go snorkeling in the Philippines. The water was so clear, and there were these huge sea stars everywhere. You would have just loved it. See, we don't tell our stories from beginning to middle to end, and they don't necessarily connect. Life is not a path that moves in a straight line. Life is a mosaic of moments, and is what holds it all together. In a mosaic, there are all these different pieces that are glued together to create one overall image. Some of those pieces are smooth and shiny. Some are bumpy or rough. There's some really plain and boring parts in there, and some parts are extraordinary. There are some beautiful pieces and some really ugly ones too. And there's a whole lot of weird stuff in between. They're all made of different materials. Some parts seem to have a clear design, and other parts don't seem to make much sense at all. That's what life is. You know, when students come to me for advice about choosing a major, they so often feel like they have to study the right subjects and get the right job after college so they can get that on the right path to that one career. And they have to pick the right place to live, and they have to make friends, and they have to find the right partner. Familiar? What I always suggest, study subjects that seem interesting. Apply for jobs where you can use your strengths and have room to grow. Move to a place that piques your curiosity, and spend time with all sorts of people who will add color to your life. Once you add one new experience to your mosaic, you'll be exposed to all these other pieces that you don't even know exist yet. And you'll add some of those. And you'll keep building your mosaic. Sometimes it might not seem like it makes sense, it might not go in the right order, but you're not trying to navigate a straight line. You're collecting moments, memories, stories, experiences, all of these pieces that become the mosaic of your life. The other coordinating conjunction that we hear so often, but. This limits us in another way. But can make us feel like if we try something and it doesn't work out, or it doesn't last forever, then we failed. You hit a dead end. You have to turn around, go back, start over, right? I used to share some of my stories this way. I started my career teaching elementary school, but after a few years, I realized it wasn't what I wanted to do forever, so I quit. I started over. I've always loved being around children, but I never became a mother. When I was in my 20s, I ran marathons, but I don't think I could do that now. I've known a lot of great people in my life, but I haven't been able to keep in touch with all of them. Listen to how my stories change when we embrace and. I started my career as an elementary teacher, and I loved it. And there were a lot of other jobs I wanted to explore too. And I had a lot of great experiences. And now I'm a college professor, and I get to work with the most incredible young adults every day. I'm a child-free woman, and I'm a really good aunt. And I've gotten to impact hundreds of kids throughout my career. I ran marathons, and that's part of my mosaic. I've known a lot of incredible people over the years, and no matter how much time we spent together, they're part of my mosaic, and I'm part of theirs. Here's the other thing about seeing life as a path. There's no guarantee how far you will get. When a life ends, people say, well, at least they lived well into old age. Or, what a shame, that life ended far too soon. Yet if you've ever been to a funeral or a celebration of life, you notice that they don't tell the person's life story in chronological order. They share memories. They tell stories. They remember moments. We don't analyze the person's path and count all the milestones that they achieved. We admire their mosaic. You know, humanity, sorry. I keep the ampersand as a reminder. Humanity as a whole doesn't tell a story. We couldn't possibly tell the whole history of humankind from beginning to middle to end. And it sure doesn't seem like there's a plot. We're all part of this great mosaic of life, and you get to add something to it. I invite you to release the idea that your life has to follow some predetermined path. Live in the moment. Embrace each experience, not for where it will take you next, but just for the unique moment that it is. Embrace and build yourself a beautiful mosaic. Thank you.